Welcome to today's episode of the Musketeers podcast. We're your hosts, Hayden, Julie, and Jane. Have you ever wondered, why are my siblings so annoying?
Well, don't you worry. Me and Hayden grew up with younger brothers, so we are both experts on this.
I am proud to grow up as an only child, but I am more than welcome to help.
See, people who grew as only children, including Jane, can help.
Yep, that is why I am here to help y'all today.
Admit it, we've had love-hate relationships with our siblings. We have our moments with them.
Growing up, me and my brother were close, so we never fought. Spoiler alert.
Lucky, me and my brother would fight when we wanted something that is only made for one thing, one at a time, or even sharing.
Poor Julie. I bet everybody else can relate to her.
Yeah, it was pretty hard for us, but we loved, and we still do love each other.
If you are Julie's brother and is listening to this episode of our podcast, please remember that Julie loves you.
Yeah, I promise. I am sorry. Anyways, let's get started with today's episode. Siblings are people part of our lives. They are supposed to be nice and caring to us, as we share the same blood since we have the same parents. Sadly, our siblings cannot always be the nicest. They may get jealous or upset over something that they fight all the time. Again, I grew up with a younger brother who is 3 years younger than me, so that's how it went for us.
It's older sibling versus younger sibling.
Yep, at least for me and Hayden.
Tell that to my younger brother. We fought, but we were overall best friends, since we are boys.
Gotta love a best friend relationship with your sibling, right?
Yup, brother best friends are the best. Even though you fought with him.
That's true.
I'm the only child. I grew up as an only child. I had my cousins. They were basically like my siblings. We fight and then, we were nice.
See, cousins can act like siblings, like Jane's cousin.
Yep, so it is why we are here, to tell you all how to survive life with your annoying siblings and cousins.
At this point, this is our advice to survive siblings. So we hope our guide will help you.
Anyways, guys, let's get started anyway. We really need to.
First things first. No fighting. Yes. That is the first step. We know how hard it is when you fight with your siblings. This always happens all the time.
But you must set boundaries with your sibling. Your sibling may unintentionally annoy you because they don't understand what behaviors or actions upset you. To avoid that, try talking to them about what boundaries are appropriate to you. If they cross that line after your conversation, go to your parents and ask them to intervene. Your boundaries may involve physical space, such as your right to privacy in your room or the safety of your belongings, but they can also refer to emotional space, such as your right to spend time alone or not continue a conversation that upsets you. If your siblings likes calling you very bad names, like embarrassing names, that makes you feel like you can hide, identify words that especially hurt you so they can avoid using these words.
If it doesn't work, don't worry, tell your parents. That's what I did when growing up with cousins.
Speaking of parents, you may want them to present when you discuss boundaries with your sibling. You may show your sibling how serious you are with the limits that you're setting.
Step 2. Don't include situations present when you discuss boundaries with your sibling. If there are certain situations that trigger your sibling to act really badly, do what you can to keep yourself out of them. The easiest way to handle annoying actions from siblings or cousins is stop them from the following. For example, if your sibling is extremely competitive, don't play any games which it's you versus your siblings or cousins, or you can face off against one another. If your siblings get cranky when they're under stress, try to give them plenty of privacy as you can if they're in high-pressure situations, such as studying for a test or preparing for a big game. Here is a tip. Ask yourself how your attitude is affecting the situation. If you apologize and take more ownership for what you do, this can teach your sibling or cousins the same thing.
Step 3. Stay calm when you feel like you are about to lose it, like deep breaths. It looks easier said than done, but if you keep your cool when your sibling irritates, you can be an effective way to avoid a big fight. If you feel losing it, try to take 5 deep breaths in and out to help you remain calm. Then, you'll be able to unlock whatever they're doing in a calm way, rather than immediately taking on their emotions. Counting also helps. If you count slowly to 10 in your head or take deep breaths before you can say anything, sitting and lying down is also good because you will start feeling more relaxed. So if you know you're getting upset, take a seat to help your brain realize that it's time to calm down.
Now, we introduce you, confronting problems, starting off strong one, as why are they acting this way? This is the best way to understand your siblings' feelings. All you have to do is just to ask them directly, in a friendly tone of voice, why are they doing what they're doing? While their reasoning is just not be a good excuse for annoying you, it may help you find a way to resolve the issue. Be ready. Here is an example. Your brother is jumping on your bed. You could look at them and say, why are you doing that? Yep, that's how I grew up. My younger brother would jump on my bed all the time. I would get pissed all the time when he does that.
That's every sibling. They always jump on my bed. My cousins did the same when they would come and visit. I did the same too with my own bed.
Guys, Jane hated cleaning her room as a kid, by the way.
Quiet, let Julie continue.
Thank you. Okay, there are times that your sibling might be snappy or irritable because they're feeling nervous or scared about something. Say it's the upcoming test or exam. It can take time for them to calm down, so you will have to wait for that. When they're calm, tell them, hey, I feel like something is bothering you. Do you want to talk about it? They may or they may not. Talking to you might make them feel better, so they might be nicer to you in the future. Also, truly listen to what concerns them and what is bothering them. Ask them questions and listen to their concerns. Then you can better address what they want to know.
Next, tell them about how they are making you feel. You can be honest. Now, there are times that they never see how annoying they're being. Whether something is hurting your feelings or is just really aggravating, it's important for you to nicely share your feelings. Now, in some cases, that might be enough to get your sibling to stop what they're doing. Let's use this as an example. If you're annoyed because your brother won't let you play with him, you might say something like, "It really hurts my feelings when you leave me out. How would you feel if I did that to you?" If you have younger siblings, use simple, clear language in order to help them understand the situation more easily. For example, they do things that upset you, like calling a bunch of names. Now, keep in mind that this is definitely not a guarantee that your sibling will stop and won't listen to you. Sometimes, they might even do something on purpose just because they know it annoys you, especially if they're already mad at you. They may mean to do these things. If so, when you speak, practice kindness. Even if they are bothering and annoying you, remember they are doing this because they probably want to follow your lead and be a part of your world. Being kind and speaking with respect shows them they should do the same for you.
Next, try to find a solution that makes you both happy. Once you both talked about how you feel, it may be easier to resolve the issue in a way that satisfies you both. Often, you'll need to compromise, so you might have to be willing to give in a little to keep the peace you need. Just remind yourself that in the long run, getting along better will make everyone happier. For example, if your sibling is bothering you because they want attention, but you need to study for an upcoming test you have at school, you meet in the middle. Tell them that if they'll leave you alone for an hour, you'll play video games or whatever they want as soon as you're done. Now, if your siblings take your things without asking if they could, you might point out a few items that they are allowed to use, as long as they ask if they can.
Next, walk away if you start to get upset or angry. If you decide to confront your sibling, it's important not to allow the situation to turn into a big fight. If you can feel yourself getting emotional or you feel like you're losing your temper, leave the room to spend some quiet time that's private. If it gets worse, like your sibling starts to get physically aggressive, try to avoid trying to hit them. Instead, leave the room and immediately tell your parents. Oh, here's a tip for you. It can help to identify warning signs that your sibling is in a bad mood, such as raising their voice or getting red in the face, so you know when it's best to avoid them.
Next, your parents can help. If you have a good relationship, fabulous. If not, try maintain a close relationship with your parents. Treat your parents with kindness, caring for your responsibilities, and following rules you have at home. If you did these, it shows you'll trust your parents. That means when you come to them with a problem with your sibling, your parents will be more likely to take you seriously. Having regular conversations with your parents about what's going on at school and with your friends can help strengthen your relationship with them. You can even talk about little things, which can help you talk to them often. Talking to your parents about what recent stuff that has happened in your life are great to talk about.
Next up, go to your parents when you have a serious problem with your sibling. Now, you don't have to necessarily run to your parents every time your sibling annoys you. However, if the issue has been going on for a while and you can't work it out together, talking to your parents can help. You can stay calm when you're describing the situation to your parents, so stick to the facts without getting overly emotional, like crying. Be specific. Instead of offering a vague complaint, say what's bugging you. If you have tried to resolve the problem on your own, explain the steps that you've taken and your sibling's reaction. You could say that your sibling needed to wait when you are watching a movie, but kept bugging you about something. That is an example. Here a tip: try to talk to your parents when they're not busy or distracted. If they're in a good mood and more willing to listen to you, they can appropriately deal with the situation.
Next, ask your parents to set consequences if your sibling doesn't stop. Let your parents explain the specific types of consequences you and your sibling will receive for annoying each other on purpose. That may be enough to prevent conflict, because if your sibling understands that they'll be in trouble like getting grounded, they'll decide that they'd rather not bother you anymore. Now, keep this in mind. These are the same consequences will apply to you if you annoy your sibling too.
Next, see if your parents can help you get some space. We know how hard it is when your sibling annoys you because you are forced to spend too much time together. It may not be practical to ask your parents for your own room, but you can still request some space and time alone when you need it. If you share a room with your sibling, have your parents set up a schedule so you each get some time alone in the room each week. Do the same with common spaces, such as the family room, den, or game room. For example, your parents might say that you each get 1 hour of TV time alone each day, and while one sibling is watching TV, the other can relax in your shared bedroom alone.
Next, suggest family meetings to keep everyone on the same page. You may be able to avoid conflicts with your sibling if you clear the air regularly. Ask your parents to host meetings weekly or monthly, so you can all touch base on what you're doing. This will also be a great space to talk about any concerns you have about your relationship with your sibling, because everyone will have a fair turn to talk. If you want to make the meetings more fun, ask your parents to plan them some activities, such as baking cookies or sharing a meal. That can help everyone feel relaxed, so you're all more comfortable. Now be ready, you're about to establish a friendship.
First step, spend time doing an activity with your sibling so you can bond. There's a lot of activities that call for teamwork, include doing a puzzle, building a model, cooking dinner for your parents, or maybe helping around the house. While working together, you'll learn to cooperate with one another, and you'll be spending your energy on something positive instead of arguing. If you and your sibling both enjoy a similar hobby or activity, try to make it special. For example, if you both like bike rides, take them for a ride on your favorite trail or the park where most bike riders are. If you like the same types of movies, plan a marathon of your favorites for just the two of you. Bond with humor. Tell your family what you find funny. Realize that humor can bond you together.
Next, be a supportive listener for your sibling. If you're being bothered by your sibling because they want attention, playing a more active role in their life may help. Take an interest in what your sibling is doing at school, as well as anything that's important to them, like their hobbies and their friends. Make sure they know they can talk to you if something's bothering you too. For example, if you notice your sibling looks sad, you might pull them aside and say something like, "Did you have a hard day at school? You can talk to me about whatever's going on." That can be thoughtful. If your sibling discloses that they're in danger in some way, like they're dealing with a school bully, tell them to talk to your parents or another trusted adult. You can even offer to sit with them during the conversation so they'll feel more comfortable. Also, get interested in them. Everyone is unique and your sibling is no exception. Find out what makes them tick. Let them entertain you. You may even learn something.
Next, be open about your life. Relationships are a two-way street, so if you want to be closer to your sibling, you'll need to be willing to be open with them, too. Share everything, like your friends, hobbies, and favorite activities as you're comfortable with, and let your sibling know that they can ask questions that they want. For example, you might tell your sibling that you have a crush on someone at school. Even if you don't want anyone else to know because of how embarrassing it could be, lead by example and treat yourself with kindness. Taking good care of yourself, including what you eat, how much you sleep, and self-talk in your body shows them that you respect yourself, and they should themselves, too. Self-care is important since we care about you and your health.
Anyways, guys, that is all we have for today's episode. We hope this advice will help you guys. Make sure to subscribe or follow our show for new episodes. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Bye.